Paul Sapin, a new expression in wine.
C'est ici, à Lancier, en plein cœur du vignoble Beaujolais, que Paul Sapin a créé en 1889 sa société de négoce de vin, que nous avons reprise environ un siècle plus tard, pour y perpétuer bien sûr la tradition des vins du Beaujolais, mais également pour y travailler une niche qui est le petit conditionnement, et que je vous invite à découvrir dans le reportage qui va suivre.
Since the takeover in 1996, Paul Sapin has earned its place as a market leader in the small container market, so far that 2001 marked an important chapter in the life of the company with the construction of its new production facilities, more modern and more efficient, and which will once again be extended in 2007 to span more than 10,000 square meters of covered space. Paul Sapin is equipped with facilities that respond quickly and efficiently to every stage in the production of quality wines. This begins with the inspection of the wine harvest amongst our main wine grower partners, then with the selection of the finest crops. This first step of selection is identical for all the wines we choose, apart from their origin, whether Beaujolais wines or wines from the Rhone Valley, grape varieties from the south of France, or crops selected from these wine growers from casks lined up on a bed of gravel, or bulks from these cooperative wine cellars, which know how to combine tradition and modernity. The selection process is the same one. Our selections also include New World wines produced by wineries from the Curico Valley in Chile, Wellington in South Africa, or from the Yarra Valley in Australia, as well as wines from California, Argentina, and New Zealand. In a second step, all our selections are tasted in-house by our team of enologists for approval. The accepted wines will be analysed, the results recorded, and control samples will be kept. The wines can finally arrive at Paul Sapin, where the metal tanks are parked undercover, the roof of the unloading bay being protected from birds with a net. Before any unloading process, we check the conformity of the bulk by taking a sample, which is systematically tasted, then analysed through the wine scan. The analysis parameter results are then compared with the control samples, and the final data are recorded. For our traceability requirements, control samples are taken, identified, and retained for 1 year. After inerting the transfer circuit, the cellarman proceeds with the unloading. A volume meter enables the exact quantity of the wine received to be checked. An exclusive process of nitrogen microbubbling prevents any pickup of dissolved oxygen during the wine transfer, and continuous monitoring of dissolved oxygen using an orbisphere is carried out online. The wine will then be stored in our fully air-conditioned fermentation cellar with a capacity of 20,000 hectolitres in stainless steel vats, protected by nitrogen inerting. Our extremely stringent hygiene plan, which comprises an automatic sanitation system, ensures an impeccable level of cleanliness. A control test of the residual wash water is performed systematically, and the control strips will be kept. The wine scan, which equips our laboratory, allows us to analyse 16 parameters in record time. It takes less than 2 minutes to obtain the requested analysis. In addition, we ensure a constant microbiological follow-up, and the Chryson for SO2 determination, as well as the traditional France Paul for the determination of free SO2, according to the official method, also complete our equipment. The wines are then prepared for bottling. They may undergo fining for the vin brut or very dry wines, followed by one or several Kieselguhr filtrations if necessary. Next, we will proceed to the analytical readjustments of gases such as SO2 and CO2, and we will conclude with a fouling index before bottling. The bottling process requires a sterile environment and leaves no room for compromise. All our lines are chemically cleaned once or several times a week and undergo daily thermal sterilisation. Sterilisations are carried out concurrently, and the sterilisation curves are monitored. An integrity test is automatically generated, and the whole data are recorded and kept. Bottling cannot be carried out without all dry goods being inspected upon their arrival at Paul Sapin. We systematically take samples from all our deliveries of caps, corks, cases, and labels. Our control procedures include, for example, the control of the hygrometric degree of natural corks, the compliance of our screw caps with Pantone standards, or the conformity of the cases as regards to marking and dimensions. All the dry goods are then placed in their respective locations where they are stored under optimal conditions, individually adapted to them. All our bottles are sheltered from adverse weather conditions. The capsules are put on racks, which makes them easily identifiable and accessible. And last but not least, with several thousands of products in stock, all our adhesive labels are arranged by bottle size on removable shelves. Organising the production plan is always an important event at Paul Sapin. Each morning, no less than 5 people organise the production for the days and weeks to come. The production schedule is done according to the type and colour of the wine, the bottle shape, the colour of the cap, and the case's format. It is therefore altogether natural for us to bring you into our bottling hall, which is equipped with 3 lines, each of them dedicated to a specific type of packaging and bottle size. A line with a production rate of 6,000 bottles per hour for the 750 milliliter bottle format. 2 lines exclusively dedicated to small containers with production rates of respectively 16,000 bottles and 9,000 bottles per hour, able to handle both glass and PET bottles. Our preventive maintenance department is made up of 3 persons and ensures the proper functioning of all our installations. The wines are ready, as well as the dry goods. The bottling process can begin. This takes place in the depalletizing room where our journey begins. Each line has a dedicated depalletizing table where the operator lays down tiers of new bottles. It's a steady and an unbroken bottles dance. They are transported by conveyors, elevators and descenders, which will finally bring the bottles to the filling monoblock. When it comes to the PET bottles, their lightness requires the use of a different supply method by accumulation. Next, all the bottles are rinsed in sterile water, with the rinsing water sucked out at the final stage. They then enter the filling turret, where previously care has been taken to inert the bottles under high pressure using a mixture of nitrogen and carbon dioxide gas in order to eliminate the oxygen contained in the bottle. The caps are transferred towards the sealer by forced sterile filtered air. In order to avoid any risk of oxidation, we inject after filling, and just before putting on the cap, this same mixture of nitrogen and carbon dioxide gas, both in the headspace and the cap, which will be placed on the bottle before being immediately crimped. Once they leave the monoblock, the bottles undergo X-ray screening to ensure consistency in the filling, the defective bottles being automatically rejected. The bottles are then adorned in their finest attire by the self-adhesive labelling machine equipped for either 3 or 4 labelling positions. At the outlet of the machine, the presence of each part of the labelling is checked with the use of optic fibres. Non-compliant bottles are rejected. A check on the crimping is carried out with a torque tester every 30 minutes, as well as a check on the height and centering of the label position. In the end, not less than 30 parameters are systematically checked and recorded on the production sheet. Our bottles carry on their way towards the automatic cases packer and are to be packed in cartons of 6, 12, 24 or 48 bottles. Paul Sapin lines are equipped with the cluster pack system, which offers the possibility of handling 187 and 250 milliliter formats in cases of 4, with or without carrying handles. The cases marker enables us to ensure complete traceability, and the continuous carton weighing guarantees that nothing is missing in the case. And finally, our case ends its journey between the grippers of the palletizer robot. A computerized label containing the barcode in SSCC format is produced and placed on each pallet after film wrapping. As each SSCC number is unique, it provides a complete traceability of each pallet. After film wrapping, our pallet enters the fully air-conditioned storage hall with a capacity for 3,000 pallets, which are all stored on racks. The storage management by location is fully computerized and follows the FIFO method. Our pallets only need to be loaded onto trucks to be sent all over the world, as Paul Sapin exports 90% of its production to more than 40 countries. All this work would not have been accomplished without perfect qualified staff thoroughly trained in the company's quality policy. All these efforts have been rewarded with certifications specific to our business. Paul Sapin has thus been the first company in France to be certified for the higher level of the IFS version 4 and the first one to be granted the triple certification IFS, BRC and ISO 9001. We are now working towards the ISO 22000 standards dedicated to the agri-food industry and ISO 14001, which drive the company to a higher respect of its environment, such as, for example, the internal biological treatment of its effluents. It's a real pleasure for us to present you a few of our product ranges. 187 by Paul Sapin, an original and attractive range which highlights and focuses on the origins of each wine. Just, a dynamic range, playful and appealing. One wine, 3 wines in PET bottles to be enjoyed wherever, whenever you want. Landscape, your passport to an exciting wine discovery all around the world. 6 jolis petits, a practical approach, available in packs of 4 bottles to be enjoyed on your own or with others. Domaine Perrière, a large wine-growing estate in the heart of the region of Minerve. Cuvée Prestige by Paul Sapin. Amongst this range of fine wines, be sure to find one to your taste.